13-Week Theater is supported by Patreon. Subscribe now and get exclusive early access. In 2005, producers David Kohan and Max Mutchnik were facing the upcoming end of their hit TV show Will and Grace and looking for a new project. They came up with the concept of 4 childhood friends who would grow up and go on to share an apartment. Originally envisioned as a star turn for comic actor Seth Green, the show quickly morphed into an ensemble piece, with the addition of Green's friends and collaborators on Robot Chicken, Shane McRae and Todd Grinnell. To round out the cast, Kohan and Mutchnik tapped Josh Cooke, who was then starring in the NBC sitcom Committed, but that's another story. Dealing with the continuing deterioration of NBC's signature Thursday night comedy lineup, network president Kevin Riley eagerly grabbed the show, expecting more of the magic that had catapulted Will and Grace to the top. The show centered around Cooke's character, Ben, who inherited a huge Manhattan condo from his dead grandmother. He decided to invite his 3 best friends to move in.
Man, look, I love you, and I loved your grandmother, but it's too much for me. I mean, you living in this crazy place, when we're all living in dumps, I don't see a way that I can be okay with this.
I want you all to move in with me.
I see a way.
Are you serious?
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask you guys when everyone cleared out, but 3 feet of angry over here forced the issue. You know, I don't want to live in this huge place all by myself. Oh, come on, it'll be great. You know, hanging out, playing cards at breakfast, self-consciously watching porn together while avoiding eye contact. What do you say?
Ben, you don't have to do this. We're fine. You don't have to always take care of everybody.
No, it's not that. Look, it's been the 4 of us our whole lives, right? I mean, and things are going to change. You know, soon, life is going to be about marriages and career and rehab, you know? Let's do this while we still can.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah!
Supporting roles included Barry's off-again, on-again girlfriend Sharon, played by Crossing Jordan actress Katherine Hahn, Barry's boss Nick Dresden, played by Michael DeBar, and Barista Tony, played by Kate Micucci. The show debuted on Thursday, January 5th, 2006, right after Will and Grace. Talented cast, proven creators, and a hit show as your lead-in. So, what happened? One big problem was the writing. Where Will and Grace would vary its jokes from highbrow to outright slapstick, very little of that subtlety could be found on Four Kings. Instead, the show relied a lot on what would today be called dude bro humor, appealing mostly to a young male demographic that had been abandoning broadcast TV. And the ones that hadn't were more likely to be watching the show's biggest competition, CBS's hit Survivor. Secondly, none of the characters were really likable. While they may have seemed well-developed on paper, all 4 of the leads came across as very one-dimensional. Ben came across as inept instead of lovable.
We should be together. Mom, get out!
Again.
Barry was snide instead of snarky.
Hey, why don't you eat a piece of that strudel? I mean, you obviously want it. Why don't you just eat it?
I don't want the strudel.
Why were you staring at it like you want to take it to prom and slip it a roofie?
Barry, what was my nickname during elementary school?
Fat Jason.
And what was my nickname at camp?
Jace Tun.
And junior high?
Carney Wilson.
Bobby was stupid instead of immature.
Please tell me that corned beef isn't left over from my grandma's funeral.
Dude, if it's bad, my body will reject it.
Yeah, well, let your body reject it in Ben's bathroom.
And Jason was, well...
You're a Republican? Since when?
I suspected back in middle school. But it wasn't until the '96 election that I knew for sure.
These were not
You
characters
were
people
so in
wanted to
love with
be or
Clinton.
even be around.
But I just...
Finally, the show was one of many victims of a major change in American TV viewership. In the years leading up to the show's debut, TiVos and other DVRs went from being luxury items to everywhere. And having a hit lead-in was no longer the bump that it had been when Will and Grace had debuted. Instead, the new norm was that most viewers would need to want to go out of their way to watch a show. And people really didn't want to watch these eminently unlikable characters.
Oh God, no! Good one.
Ratings started low and continued to drop. Seeing the writing on the wall, Shane McRae signed on to an ABC pilot called Our 30s, and in an echo of how his signing on to Four Kings helped kill Committed, Josh Cooke was cast on a show called Big Day. NBC finally pulled the show off its schedule on March 16th, leaving 6 of the show's 13 episodes unseen in the US. The good news is that, for all its faults, the show didn't really do much damage. All 4 of the main cast eventually went on to bigger and better roles, and the next season, NBC would finally resurrect its must-see TV Thursday lineup with hits like My Name is Earl and The Office. Obviously, these 4 kings were a hand that deserved to be folded.
Monkey.